A burned out buy and hold investor that wants to sell his rental property is what we call a tired landlord. And tired landlords are one of my favorite types of motivated sellers to call and buy deals from because generally they are less emotional since they are investors. I like that because they understand the process, they understand wholesaling, they understand selling at a discount for cash, and we can have a real conversation, and if the numbers don't work, they aren't offended because again, they are investors like me. However, that's not always the case. Some tired landlords can be rude, aggressive, jaded, and downright difficult to talk to and work with. That is exactly what happened to me while calling sellers on a YouTube live show that I do with my friend RJ Bates. On this video, you're gonna listen to about a 12-minute call where I attempted to buy a house from a difficult tired landlord. Watch how I attempt to overcome objections, explain the process, and try as I might to negotiate a deal. Coming up.
For a limited time, you can get a free copy of Jerry Norton's Motivated Seller Scripts so you can talk to, email, and text sellers with confidence. Download it now at freesellerscripts.com.
Is this Brian?
Yeah.
Hi, Brian. My name's Jerry. I'm calling you about your property on 38th Street. How are you today?
Yeah, Jerry, how can I help you?
Well, I understand you're looking to sell that property. Is that the case?
Yep.
Okay. Love to see if I can help you out here. I'm going to pull this up. Yeah, my notes say that it's tenant occupied and you're looking to sell it ASAP and you're tired of landlord in that one.
Yep.
Are they non-paying? Is that why?
No, they're paying.
Okay. What's got you tired of it?
These phone calls, really. I mean, you guys call me like every day, like 18 calls a day. Once you get to what your offer would be, so I know if this is wasting my time. So I can either hang up or we can do a deal.
Yeah, I like that. I don't want to waste time either. And this is my first time calling you because you filled out a form, so I'm not sure who else is calling you.
But you bought the same marketing plan that everybody else did. So do you have a price or not? I really just want to get to where you'd be because I get so many calls. So
without digging into it, but I can give you a ballpark of where I would probably need to be. 125.
Now, that's better than most. Still pretty low though.
What are you getting usually?
What do you got for ARV on it?
I didn't even get that far. I just took a percentage off of the Zillow number because you wanted a number real fast. So that's what I did.
What's the Zillow number?
179.
What price did you take of that?
70%.
And then after you look at it, for everything else that you see
on it? I mean, typically that's where I like to be at if I'm going to buy it because I'll buy it. I'll have it at a discount, but you know, we'd have to do some due diligence. I'd have to make sure it's not falling apart. Or you tried to sell it a couple years ago. It looks like 1,064 square feet, 3-bedroom, 1-bath. Typically, as long as everything checks out, if I can buy that at 70% of its current value, and I'm assuming the Zestimate number is its current value. I don't know if that's accurate or not.
No, Zillow's pretty low, and you know that.
I mean, they're getting better and better.
They are. Do like a Google search or a chat GPT search on it, they give you a more accurate.
What I'll do is watch. I'll show you what I'll do. So Realtor, what's great about Realtor.com is they give 3 different numbers. They got it at 183, 189, and 184. So that's a lot of consistency there. I'd say you're probably retail at about 180 if you were to sell it on the open market.
Okay.
Assuming you're in fair condition.
Okay. Well, the tenant's not doing any favors. They're in there, you know, right on the walls and stuff like that.
Well, and that's going to make it harder. If I buy it, I'm inheriting your tenant. So I got to look at that too.
They're good paying tenant, but you know,
what are they paying?
You just got to paint it. I mean, if you paint the insides, then you're right back to where you're at. But the tenant's a good paying tenant. They haven't missed a payment. They've been in there for years.
At $1,200, if I pay $125, I mean that's okay.
You going down? I thought you said 135.
No, 125. I'm taking 70% of 178 is 125.
Okay, so you're automatically considering taking $40,000 off the price to rehab it or whatever to make.
Well, no, just to buy it cash. I mean, you could sell it retail, pay commissions, closing fees, and all of that, and go through the time and get the tenant out of there and do showings and paint it yourself. And it's speed and convenience. I got to get a discount for that.
You say so? Okay.
Is this something you want to do?
Not at 125. I think it's worth a bit more than that. I mean, you're close. My history with this is I work out a deal over the phone, and then you go look at it, and you start telling me, well, floors, the roof, the walls, the grass, the sidewalk. I mean, you just start naming all the stuff, and the price changes. And
Well, possibly, but
Kinda
you wanted me to give you an offer in our first 20 seconds of talking.
And that's why we're still talking, because your offer wasn't totally crap.
Good. Yeah. Well, but I would have to go look at it, because if it's carpet and paint, that's one thing. But if it's roof, siding, windows, and a foundation repair, that's a totally different story.
Foundation is great. Siding's good. Roof doesn't leak.
Okay.
I just don't want to waste my time with your time, because I know the formula, because I've done it a lot. You know, you guys agree to a price on the phone, and then when you get out there, no matter how, the property could be immaculate, which I've had them, and there's still the deductions afterwards for whatever you want to make up. And if that's what you do, then I'm not interested in wasting our time, because I won't do it. If you want to set up a percentage, because I've got this one and others, but I'd be happy to sell them to you. But I'm not going to give my profits away, you know. Just give them away at such a deep discount. So
whoever you try to sell it to, if they're going to stroke a check for $125,000, they're going to want to look at the property and do some due diligence.
Absolutely. But many of the folks like you in this business, they go out there with a mindset, hey, let me write as much stuff as I can, and my 125 price is going to change to whatever.
If that were the case, you could just say no.
I know, but it's a lot of time, effort, and I think that somebody's going to buy it, and I mentally prepare for it and stuff. So
I guess I'm not understanding. I'm spending the time to send someone out there and do all this due diligence. You just got to give me access. Like, what are you spending time doing?
Well, it's a lot, dude. And then you guys leave the doors open, and you start bitching about everything. I just hassle.
You got a tenant there, so we coordinate a time. We do a 5-minute walkthrough. I make sure it's not falling down. If you're not disclosing something to me that I find out, then yeah, we're going to be retalking it. If it checks out, then we move forward and then go to closing.
Where are you located?
I'm located in Tennessee, but I do this all over. And if you got other properties, I'll look at those too. You're going to keep getting calls like this, so you're going to have to sell it to somebody.
I've done it. I keep showing up, walking through it to people, and the offer goes from 150 to 75. The offer goes from 700,000 to 400,000, and there's that. And that was after they looked at them initially, and then gave me an offer, and then decided to look at them a second time and reduce the offer. So
how many times has that happened on this property? How many times have you been under contract?
None.
Okay. Because if the same property is going under contract and then everybody's coming back with a lower number, the market's telling you something. That's the real number.
None. Zero. None. Not this property. It's not the property. It's the people, because I've talked to my other fellow investors, and they did the same thing to them. The process is you put it under contract for whatever price you can. You get out there, and then you try to shake somebody down and go for lesser and lesser and lesser based on ridiculous shit.
But you can just say no. That's what I'm not following you here. Like, if I try that on you, then you just say no. We have a contract for 125. If I try shenanigans, you say no.
I don't want 125. I told you that was low, but it wasn't terrible.
Yeah. I didn't come in and play the game with you. And if we were playing the game, I'd have said 100, and then we negotiate up to 125. So when I said 125, because you wanted a number, I didn't mean 150. I meant 125. So like, if you want to do something, we can get it done. I am going to do due diligence to make sure I know what I'm buying. Close in 30 days. I'm going to need to look at your lease. I'm going to need to make sure, the property's in what I think it is. But anybody you sell it to is going to want that.
I understand. You're not telling me anything I don't know. I don't know why you treat me like an idiot here.
Because you're complaining about the process, and this is just the process.
No, the process is fine. It's that your process that you and others like you call, and your formula is 70% less repairs. You get down, and then you end up about 50% of the value, and I won't sell it for that. So
yeah, but that would be like me saying to you, you're like other sellers who ghost me, and other sellers that do this and that. No, you're not. You're you, and that's them. I'm not these other people. I don't know what they're doing or what experience you've had before.
And that same comment has been said by the last 10 people. And I've been doing this 25 years, dude, a long time. So I would love to sell it to you. I'm not going to sell it for 125. That's too cheap. So you got to revise that number first of all.
Are you countering my number, or what are you doing?
No, I don't. I have to do a little bit more research on it, but yeah.
So you don't like 125, but you don't know what number you want to counter. I mean, I'm like you. I'm an investor. I've been doing this 20 years. I don't know what else to do for you. I mean, I'm explaining the process. You don't like the process. You don't have a number for me. You don't like my number. I mean, how do you typically negotiate a deal when you want to sell something?
I'll sell it for 138.
138.
Yeah.
Okay. If I'm coming off of that 125 and I'm looking at 138, I'm going to have to comp this thing, and I'm going to have to get my head around exactly what the number. I don't know if that's a good number or not.
You're going to do that anyway, aren't you?
Well, yeah, but at least we're starting out somewhere that sounds right for me.
we're starting out, which means your number is going to move drastically, and I don't want to do that. So if that's your process, that's what you're going to do. Just save us both time, all right?
I don't know what I'm getting into until I get into it.
I'm telling you, the tenants have put graffiti on the walls. So that's about it. So if you can handle that.
When does that lease up?
It's month to month.
Okay. So we could give them notice and they're out.
Yes.
All right. Well, then if you want to bear with me, I can look at some comps right now and see what this thing will get fixed up. But what would you say it needs in work? If I were to buy it, vacate the tenant, spend money rehabbing it, what do I got to spend?
Thorough cleaning and painting.
That's all it needs, cleaning and painting?
Say, yeah.
If this is a flip, then what will this thing sell for with a rehab?
What is it? Is it a flip, or you hold on to these and rent?
I don't know. I got to look at both and see which one makes the most sense. What I'm doing right now is I'm going to go ahead and look at solds in your neighborhood that are similar to what you've got. I'm going to go back 6 months. Did you say you had a garage?
No garage.
No garage. Okay. You only have one bath though, so that might hurt me a little. I'm going to look at everything under 1,300. Yeah, that gets rid of it, just about everything. Here's a 1.5, 1,100 square feet, got 225, and it's pretty clean. It's not a rehab though. I don't know if you're much higher than the 220s, 225 if you fix it up. This is a great comp here. Okay, I found my comp. A flipper did this one. 1,032 square feet, 3.1, just like you. It's got a new kitchen, new floors. I mean, this is nice though. Oh, this has a garage. Are you in front of your computer?
No.
Okay. I was going to have you look at this so you could see what I'm looking at, but it's on a basement, does have a garage. This sold for $240, but it's got new floors, it's paint, new kitchen, granite countertops. So this is nice. New bathrooms. I mean, if I got to do kitchen and bathrooms, I'm spending $40, and this has a garage and yours doesn't. So I think you're probably more like 225 fixed up.
You're having that from Tennessee?
Yeah.
Are you already doing that in Kansas City?
I do it all over.
Well, who's your contractor?
I hire guys that are there local.
You hire guys local, and you never visit the property.
I got eyes on it. I send people that look at it for me and watch it for me.
It's hard enough to rehab a property when you're living next door to it.
I know.
In a different state.
I know. It's not easy. That's why I got a budget good, because I can't hire my buddies to do it, or the handyman I know or whatever. I got to hire.
And you don't have properties in Tennessee that fits your criteria?
I do it here too.
Yeah.
I think that puts me back around that same number anyway. So yeah, I'd have to stay at the 125.
Well, you saved us some time then, huh?
Yep.
Why wouldn't you just hold it and continue keeping the rent?
To pay 138 to get 1,200? I don't know. Maybe. Yeah. So the way it would work is if you wanted to do 125 is we would have an agreement. I'd have a small window of due diligence. I'd send someone out there, make sure I get eyes on it. As long as that checks out, I put money in escrow and we close in 30 days.
Yeah, I don't want 125 though. I don't know.
I know.
Where you very first said that, and I said, you're not terrible, but it's still too low.
Okay. Well, that's where I would need to be.
Okay.
All right. Good luck to you, sir.
Bye.
You know, RJ, I think I'm convinced that tired landlords are dicks. Was there just like some was it my negative energy or his negative energy or both of our negative energy? Like, what was going on there?
That man was a miserable human being. I despised him.
What a baby.
I literally said, this guy's a baby.
Comment. I was thinking the same thing.
I hated that entire conversation, not from your side, but just from his. It was frustrating. I thought you navigated it fantastic. My call with him would have lasted about 2.5 minutes.
I mean, I was wondering if he was going to come around because he wasn't hanging up on me, or he wasn't initiating like we're done. Because I'm just kind of like waiting, like, okay, what do you want to do, dude?
Right.
Where do you want to go from here? You know?